Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout that I got done at the crop back in October. I brought 48 page kits. I got 42 pages done. This was page 32 and this one took me 12 minutes. So if you're looking, this is almost real time that I kind of did the video, because if I fast forward it too much, it was like, a 5-minute video. So what I did was I had, again, a page kit full of scraps. Now, when I opened this page kit, I was like, I have quite a few, bigger sheets of pattern papers, where normally my page kits are filled with scraps. I had quite a few, either full sheets of pattern papers or really close. So I thought this is the perfect layout to do what I call the bullseye. And I have go-to layouts that I do when I go to a crop, whether it's an L shape or the bullseye. So I have a bunch of layouts like that I like to do. And then when I get at the crop, I either start with those layouts and kind of get the mojo going, or somewhere in the middle. Like I said, for this kind of layout, you kind of need some bigger sheets of pattern or cardstock, because, you start to cut your squares at 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, 10x10, and then you have your background, which is at 12x12, and you just kind of layer all those squares, and it kind of reminds me of a bullseye, and that's why I call it the bullseye. So at this point, I have the 4, the 6, the 8, and I want it, and the 12x12, of course, because that's my wood grain. So I needed one more. So I ended up taking this sheet of pattern paper, and I'm going to cut it down to 10x10. And you end up using so much pattern papers, on one layout. So you have your 12x12 background, you have the 10x10 and the 6x6. The 8x8 and the 4x4 were both cardstock, but they, look really great. Now, as you saw, I had two patterns that were kind of floral, and it was just a bit much. So I had a 6x6 in this page kit, and it was just perfect. It ended up working out really well. Now, this is just a picture of me, and we had climbed up Mount Carlton. Now, I have to say, this was in July that we climbed that mountain, and it was freezing. Like, we all had jackets on, we all had toques on. It's like, okay, it's like July 2nd. Why is it so bloody cold? But it was freezing, which, the rest of the walk was okay because you're in the woods. And if it's a little cooler, it's a little nicer to walk. But when we actually got above the tree line and we were at the top of the mountain, let me just put it this way. We didn't stay there very long because it was freezing. So to get back to the layout, I did grab some distress ink, and it's probably gathered twigs or walnut stain, vintage photo, one of those browns. And I'm going to end up inking the edges of all the pattern papers. So I went a few days without actually uploading any videos, and that's because Mason was he played a few games of hockey, and it was in another city, so we had to go there and stay in a hotel. And then when we got back, I'm also working on Scrapathon. So if you're interested, it's on sale right now. We're going to do 31 layouts in 1 month. So if you're in any kind of a slump, this is guaranteed to take you out of a slump, because everybody is so excited. Everybody shares. And just having those prompts really helps. And, there's 31 videos. There's at least half that are going to be real time. The last Scrapathon, all 31 videos were real time. I just say at least half because, there's a few times that it's happened that, you know, my video is corrupted somehow and I have to do a voiceover. So I prefer to do real time because then you can kind of say what you're thinking when you're doing your layouts. Another thing that I've changed is I am doing at least a third, so at least 10 or 12 that are technique. And I can tell you that right now I have 20 techniques that I'm thinking, you know, of doing. And also another thing that I've added is on the Facebook group, I've listed every challenge. So when you're building your page kits, you can keep those in mind. Here's a few techniques that I'm so excited about, and I've done quite a few layouts already, and I'm having so much fun. So embossing glaze with a stamp, embossing glaze with paste, mosaic, alcohol lift, bokeh, I think that's how you say it. And then we're going to do a layout using Nuvo drops, and it's not what you think. It's not making enamel dots. We're going to use the Nuvo drop in a kind of new way to me anyway, and it's really was a lot of fun to do. So if you're interested, just go to NicoleJones91.com and it's Scrapathon 9. So a lot of times when I do this bullseye layout, like I call it, I end up just doing one embellishment cluster and I do it around the 4x4 photo. Now it's not like every time I do it, I only do one cluster, but it's, you know, something that I consider when I make this layout because there is so many layers that I find that one huge embellishment cluster is just perfect for that type of layout. So if you look at the 4x4 photo, I basically covered the bottom of the photo and the side of the photo with my embellishment clusters. I did use one of, you know, our tags or digital files, and that's where I'm going to do the journaling. And that was another thing that was fun, was before I went to the crop, I ended up doing most of the journaling for all of my pages that I did, so that when I sat down and once the layout was done, I just transferred the journaling. That's it. That's going to complete this layout, and I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.